Hello and welcome to a new class, class 280. Are you ready? I'm going to review regular verbs, column 1, page 170. We are on page 276, but I want to review. Page 170, regular verbs. The first column, I'm going to start at the bottom and move up. Worried. I'm worried. What are you worried about? I'm worried about the future. And why are you worried about the future? Because it's very difficult to predict the future. Are you trying to predict the future? Yes, I am. But I'm having trouble. Me está costando. I'm having trouble predicting the future, so I'm worried. But do you worry a lot? Yes, I worry a lot. Yeah, did you worry a lot when you were younger? Yes, I worried a lot. Worried a lot. In Latin, worried a lot. It's not true. I don't worry. I never worry. My wife does. My wife worries a lot. In fact, she worries so much that I rent her to other people. I mean, do you have problems? Are you worried? Don't worry. I will, for a very modest fee, I will rent you, my wife. You tell her the problem, and she'll worry for you. She's an expert worrier. So, and when she was a little girl, she worried. When she was a teenager, she worried a lot. And when she was a young adult, she worried a lot. When she became a mother, she worried about the children. And she worried about me. She worried a lot. Okay, worry. Used. How many pencils did I use in the last class? I didn't use any pencils in the last class. Well, no. No, I didn't. Are you using a pencil now? Yes, I am. I'm using a black pencil. And what are you using it for? What are you using it for? Preposición intencional. ¿Para qué lo estás utilizando? What are you using it for? What am I? What am I using it for? The pencil. I'm using it to mark my place. I don't have a bookmarker, so I use the pencils to mark my place. Well, when was the last time you used all the pencils in one class? I think about 4 or 5 classes ago, I used all the pencils. I was counting them, I think. So I used Zaragoza, zarzuela de Zaragoza, used. Es interesante la palabra use, el verbo use. Fíjate cómo suena la S, use. I use these pencils almost every class. I use these pencils almost every class. Exagero un poquito la pronunciación para que se te quede. I use these pencils almost every class. Ahora bien, el sustantivo uso, hago uso de, por ejemplo, is use. Use. Totally changes. Use es más abrupto y la S es S pura. No S con ese zumbido. Z. Use. Hago uso de estos lápices. Se dice en inglés to make use of. I make use. I make use. Make use. I make use of these pencils every day. Use. I use. So the word uso, utilización, empleo, el empleo de, is the use. The use. El uso de estos libros me ayuda en la clase. The use of these books improves my teaching ability. All right. I use, con el verbo, these books. All right, used, try, tried. Yesterday I tried to lift this table by myself. As you remember, Marta and I lift the table and move it to over there. But yesterday I tried to lift it myself, but it was impossible. So I said, and Marta wasn't here. She had left. I said, no. So I had to call Augusto. I said, Augusto, hey, can you help me lift the table and move it? So I tried to do it myself. Tried, yes. When was the last time, Richard, you tried something new, a food? Oh, this is interesting. I tried membrillo for the first time in my life 2 months ago. Yes. You see, I don't like desserts. And I don't like sweets. And when I saw I saw membrillo for the first time 45 years ago. But I said, no thanks. I never tried it. And finally, I tried it. Lo probé. I tried it about 2 months ago. It was good. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised. Surprised. No viene aquí, no? No. I was surprised that it was good. But I haven't eaten membrillo since then. That was the last time and the only time I've tried membrillo. I took one bite. So I tried it. But I didn't continue eating it because it was somebody else's membrillo. I don't know how to say membrillo in English. That's your homework for tonight. After the class, later, look up membrillo in English, and you tell me tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow you'll tell me how to say membrillo in English, because I don't know. But I tried it. So try is intentar, y también probar, to try. Inténtalo es try. Pruébalo es try it. Nunca se usa it cuando es expresión de intentar, to try. Try to improve. Intenta mejorar tu inglés. Inténtalo mucho. Try to improve your English. Try hard. No, try it. Try it is probarlo. All right. The next one, I'm going up the list. I studied philosophy when I was in the university, when I was at college. I studied a lot of different subjects. I studied Spanish a lot. I studied philosophy, I studied psychology, I studied sociology, I studied anthropology, I studied geology, I studied music appreciation, yes. I studied political science. I studied bureaucracy. Richard, yes, did you study a lot in your free time when you were in college, when you were at uni in college? No, I didn't study. Well, yes and no. I was a good student normally. Normally I was a good student. Ample cum laude. Not bad. However, I didn't study excessively. I didn't study too much. I studied the necessary time. The American educational system is different than the Spanish educational system. Here the system is based on memorization. Memorization and reproduction on the exam. In the United States, it's less dependent on memorization. Menos dependiente de, menos, se basa menos en. It's less dependent on memorization and more on development. It's difficult to explain, but I prefer the American system. I feel sorry for very intelligent teenagers who are repeating aloud several pages of notes to memorize and memorize and memorize, to cram to the information into their head to reproduce on Monday on the exam. And then they forget everything, and they don't like the subject. That's the problem. They hate the subject because they have to memorize. So it destroys the potential interest of the student in the subject. And that's a mistake. But in any case, that's a topic or a subject for another day. Stayed. Yes. Yesterday after this class, Marta left, and I stayed. Marta left and I stayed. It's not normal. Normally, Marta and I leave together. And she says, hasta mañana, corazón de melón. She says, all right. But no, yesterday she left and I stayed. Richard, why did you stay? I stayed here to prepare the following class, the next class. So, and how long did you stay? I stayed for about 15 minutes. And then I tried to move the table and I couldn't. So I called Augusto and he came. You remember, I told you that a few minutes ago. And we lifted the table and moved it over there. Yeah, so I stayed for about 15 minutes. And then I went home. You went home? Yes, I went home. How did you go home? I drove. Was there a lot of traffic? No, not too much. Not too much traffic. How long did it take you? How long did it take me? Yes. How long did it take you? To do what? To drive home. Oh, it took me about 15 minutes to drive home. Where did you park? I parked in the normal place where I park. And where is the normal place? It's an underground car park. Car park. It's an underground car park. It's a parking garage. How far is it from your house? What? The parking garage. How far is it from your house? Oh, it's about 40 meters from my house. How long does it take you to walk from your car to the door of your house? It depends. Oh, what does it depend on? What does it depend on? Yes, what does it depend on? Well, it depends on weather. Weather is sí. Cuando voy a decir opciones. Oh, depende de si uso esto o es. It depends on whether I use the elevator, the lift, or use the stairs. Your question is, how long does it take me to go from my car to the door of my house? If I use the elevator, well, it also depends. Yes, there's only one elevator in my building. So if I get to the elevator and it's on the 7th floor, I need to wait for the elevator to come down and then go up. So if the elevator is on the 7th floor when I arrive, it takes longer to go up to my house on the elevator than to go up the stairs. I live on the 5th floor. There are 100 steps, escalones, peldaños. There are 100 steps from the ground floor to my floor. So 20 steps per floor. So if I walk up the stairs to my house, it takes less time if the elevator is on the 7th floor when I arrive and I need to wait for it to come down. So, in the best case scenario, el escenario mejor, se dice best case scenario, if the elevator is on the ground floor when I arrive, it probably takes me from the door of my car to the door of my house, it probably takes me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Maybe 3, I don't know. And if I walk up the stairs, it takes 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So I walk up quite quickly. But which do you do more? Do you usually use the elevator or do you usually use the stairs? I usually use the stairs. Almost always. Almost always. I almost always use the stairs. And why do you almost always use the stairs? Because I like the exercise. And how many times do you use the stairs every day? 2 or 3 times a day. Wow. That's 300 steps per day. Oh, yes. 15 floors per day if you do it. Well, fine. Are you tired when you reach the 5th floor? Well, a little bit. No, just a little bit. Not too much. Nah, I'm not too tired. I'm not demasiado cansado. I'm not too tired when I reach. Cuando llego, when I reach. When I get to the 5th floor. When I reach the 5th floor, I'm not too tired. And when do you use the elevator? I use the elevator if I'm really tired when I get home. When I park the car, go up, and if I'm feeling tired, I will use the elevator. But that's not very often. Or if I'm in a hurry. If I'm in a hurry, I'll use the elevator. I'll use. Usaré. Utilizaré. If I'm in a hurry, or if I forget something. For example, last week, I went down. I never used the elevator. I used the stairs. I went down, and I was leaving the building. I remembered I forgot my watch. Not true. What did I forget? I forgot something. I forgot the mask. Yeah. And so I went back up. But because I was in a hurry, and the elevator was on the first floor, on the ground floor, so I went back up. I went up. All right, so snowed. How many times did it snow last year? It didn't snow in Madrid last year, I think. Laura, and it hasn't snowed this winter yet. It hasn't snowed yet in Madrid. Smile. Smile, the longest word in the English language. Ese más una milla. Smile. Smiled. Yes. Yes. Did you smile at your wife the first time you saw her? In my life, the first time I saw my wife, I'm sure I did. I'm sure I did. How do you know? I just know. Come on. Do you remember? I don't remember the specific. I remember the first time I saw my wife, yes. But do you remember if you smiled at her? No, but I'm sure I did. How can you be so sure? Well, because she was a knockout. I always smile. She was beautiful, gorgeous, radiant. And of course I smiled at her. Yes, I did. Did she smile back? Yes, she did. She smiled back. Fíjate, volvió la sonrisa. O sea, decimos en inglés, ¿te sonrió de vuelta? Did she smile back? Yes, I'm sure she did. Because my wife smiles a lot. Yes, she smiles a lot. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. About a year ago, I was giving a talk. Daba una charla, una conferencia. And after the talk, there were some questions. Some members of the audience, a few members of the audience asked me, fíjate, digo asked, simplifica asked, diciendo asked me some questions. I remember one of the questions is, Richard, or Mr. Vaughan, Richard, what do you consider the most important element in your success? And I said, my smile, mi sonrisa. Yes. I said, una sonrisa sincera, a sincere smile is very, very powerful, very, very effective. A sincere smile that people capture because you touch the heart. And when you touch the heart, you conquer the person in a good way, not in a bad way, with a sincere smile, sincerity and smile. Smiled. How many people have you smiled at in your life? A million, well, I don't know. I've smiled at, se dice smile at, siempre. Look at, point at, throw at, smile at. Except Lady Luck, la dama de la suerte, la que está arriba, vigilando. La dama de la suerte que me proporciona suerte. She smiles on me because she's looking down. It's similar to God. She smiles on me. Yes, Lady Luck smiles on the intrepid who are doing their homework. Yeah, that means ora elabora, as the Benedictines say. Pray but work, eh? Pray but row. Reza pero rema. And the harder you work, the luckier you will become. Because the harder you work, sincere effort, eh? Esfuerzo sincero. Lady Luck notices you and starts smiling on you. De otra manera, smile at. To smile at. All right, show. Yes, yes. This is Natasha Zarakovich. I'm showing you a picture of Natasha. I have showed you, I've shown, ojo con este verbo, el participio puede ser showed or shown. There are two alternatives, and both are correct. Como en español, fuera o fuese, comiera, comiese, son alternativas válidas. Showed, shown. I showed you a picture of Natasha just a few seconds ago. I showed it to you, holding it in my left hand. Do you remember? I showed it to you. And how many other people did I show? I didn't show any other people. I only showed you a picture of Natasha. Showed, served. Yes, to serve. I have never served in the military. I've never served in the Army. I've never served in the Navy. You're in the Army now. I've never served in the Army. In the Navy. La, da, 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 da. I've never served in the Navy. I've never served in the Air Force. I've never served in the Marines. And I've never served in the Coast Guard. So I've never served in any of the branches of the armed forces. Served. Yes, served. So, to serve. My father served in the Army Air Corps during the Second World War. He served in the military. Se dice sirvió en el servicio militar. Se servir. We say in English. He served in the military for 3 years during the war. All right, seemed. Yes. You know, at the beginning, when I started this class in January of last year, everything seemed strange. The lighting seemed strange to me. The camera angle seemed strange. Looking at a little red light and a cold camera seemed strange. Having these pencils here seemed strange. It seemed like, when I came to Spain, everything seemed different. And everything was different. It seemed like I was on a different planet. Parecía que estaba yo en otro planeta cuando me vine aquí. It seemed like I was on a different planet. Not true. I'm very flexible, very malleable. And so but it seemed, things seemed different, and they were different. Yes, seemed, saved. When I was younger, I saved more money. Now I save less. Between the age of 23 or 24 and 39, I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot. Ahorré mucho dinero. I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot. Why? Well, because I didn't spend a lot of money. It's very simple. The only money I spent was going to the United States in August, usually. But at that time, I went to the States every other year. I didn't go to the States every year. Really? And why didn't you go every year? I didn't go every year because the agreement, I agreed with my parents to alternate. So 1 year my parents came here to visit, and 1 year I took the family there. So I only spent a lot of money on vacation every other year. Not every year. So I didn't spend any money. I lived in a house of 96 square meters. And when I was 34, 35, 36, I had 60 teachers working for me. So I was making some money. Not a lot, but I was making enough to save. So I saved a lot. Fíjate como el lazo. I saved a lot of money. Ahora enlacemos la de con a lot. I saved a lot, a lot, a lot. I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot of money. Os cuesta enlazar porque no os he enseñado en primaria y secundaria a enlazar fonéticamente. Pero es el truco de la fluidez y la soltura. I saved a lot. I saved a lot. Truco mecánico. Otro truco es psicológico. I saved a lot, saved a lot, saved a lot, saved a lot, saved a lot of money. I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot of money. Richard, when are you going to retire? Oh, I retired last year. You did? Yeah, I retired last year. You retired? Oh, what are you doing here? Well, I'm not really here. What you see is a figment of your imagination. Un producto de tu imaginación. I'm retired already. And I'll tell you maybe in the next class why. Take care.